Good morning everyone. Today in this video we will fight against the atmosphere character of our world around us, as we always do on this channel, or at least try to do, because sometimes it's not easy. But today I would like to refer to the events that ongoing events that take place on the east from the border of Poland. So-called mainstream media call it war in Ukraine. I would put quotation on this war because, due to several reasons I will discuss, this is not an ordinary, in very big quotation, war. Why? The state of war between Russia and Ukraine was not declared. Trade between two countries is still ongoing. The most, I would say, ironic thing, it's like Ionesco's grotesque, is that Ukraine still sells weapons to Russia, and some of these weapons are coming back to Ukraine to bring destruction and death to some people. And gas and oil from Russia through Ukraine is still going. Diplomatic relations between these two countries are still held. So something is not okay. And who is fighting? From this what we know, people who are fighting are the members of some military units. Of course, criminals taken out of prisons who have nothing to lose from both sides, and some mercenaries from different countries. And if one looks at the military operations that we know about more in details that took place during this strange conflict, we see that these are fightings between the groups, different groups of, as I said, mercenaries, criminals, or bandits who formed from both sides, who were formed into military units to bring mass and push from some regions population out to the west to destabilize it and to make this problem costly from the Western countries, just to press them. I would compare this conflict to the period of the Second World War that took place from the 3rd of September 1939, when England and France declared war to Germany after the invasion of Poland. And this period in the Second World War lasted till the invasion in April 1940, till the invasion of Germany on Denmark and Norway, so Scandinavian countries. In English-speaking literature it's called Phone War. In German literature it's called Sitzkrieg, so sitting war. So I would say that in some sense this situation on the eastern Ukraine mainly, which we can observe now, is comparable, because it's also strange conflict which actually cannot be defined with simple rules, because it doesn't fulfill the definition of the armed conflict that was not declared, that has officially at least clear goals, and the military operations are launched on the full scale. Because even, as I mentioned in some of my previous movies, even if we take into account the number of military personnel Russia involved till now into this conflict, we see that it's not full-time scale invasion. It's only to torment the Ukraine and, as I said, push as many people as possible into the West. And the important thing is also that recently some reporters claimed that Russia is using equipment that was about to be scrapped because it was old or actually dated in terms of the requirements of modern military conflict. So scrapping this equipment, deposing it somewhere, and later utilizing it would be very costly, or even more costly than using it into this conflict. That brings to Russia also some losses, of course, of different types, but also some benefits. World is changing. Some countries already agreed to buy the main resources of Russia, so gas, and black gold, so oil, in Russian ruble transactions are made. As far as I know, I don't know if it's finalized, but even some Gulf countries were negotiating with China possibility of selling the oil to China in Chinese yuan. So we see that these countries are slowly slipping out of the supremacy of dollar. I mean supremacy in the sense that some strategic resources, there was an agreement, can be sold, so transactions involving these resources have to be performed in USD. Now we see that system is more and more hollow because there are more and more exceptions. We see that ruble came into play, and also yuan is coming into play, so Russia and China. So the monopolar picture of the world is becoming slowly the past, and now a new world with more centers is being created. So thanks to this strange war that was not declared, internet was not stopped, telecommunication was not stopped, resources important for Russia are still going through Ukraine, through the pipes, and the sad thing is that even Ukraine, which is one of the largest weapons exporter, is selling its weapons to Russia. As I said, that some of them come back to Ukraine, bringing their destruction and death. Diplomatic relations as of now between these two countries were not cut off completely. Ukrainian president, as a cheap comedian from sitcoms, is going back and forth doing his show. There is a lot of war propaganda from both sides. That's why it's really hard to dig into the honest information about the military operations that are ongoing currently on the Ukrainian soil. So we will have to wait for some clarifications. Let's hope that they will come soon. And that's why, to sum up, I wanted to tell you that in my opinion, this is what we observe on the east from the Polish border. This is a strange, without quotation, war with quotation, something different than we knew before because of these reasons I mentioned. And in my opinion, it's a sort of testing ground before potentially possible great conflict between real superpowers of our world. So, as I mentioned, blocks of the countries, so Western countries, with the block of China, Russia, Iran, and Germany, if they manage to slip out of the American shoe, and of course North Korea. So Ukrainian conflict is a sort of testing ground between great conflict that potentially might come, and the main theater of its action will be on Pacific Ocean. Take care, all the best, and I wish you a good day.